guys, how you doing? This is Bobby Davis from the earthquake capital of the world, Kernersville, North Carolina. So we had a 5.1 earthquake yesterday morning. That's kind of cool, Kevin. So hello to Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Hey, we're like the new California.
I know, yeah. So like, it did wake me up though. I was shaking in my bed at 8 a.m.
I was actually sat right here, and I was playing the guitar, and my monitor started shaking. And I was like, what on earth? Did I like hit the desk? Because what on earth is going on here? And then I was like, oh no, hold on. The whole room's shaking a little bit. I was like, I walked downstairs and I was like, do you feel that, did we have I was like, did you open the garage door or something? Did we have an earthquake? Exactly. My wife was like, what are you talking about? She didn't feel anything.
Wow. Okay. I felt it big time.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I thought I was insane for a second, and then I immediately went on Twitter and I looked up the word earthquake, and I was like, "Oh, okay, bunch of people, North Carolina." Like, I'm not going insane. Yeah. Like this is good.
But nothing fell over. In fact, not that we should taunt the earthquake. No. But I got a message from a friend who said like earthquake 2020 we rebuild, and it showed his like little pool chair.
I saw some of those. I know we're just asking for trouble though, aren't we?
We are, man. Like because we're not earthquake proof. I mean, like if a big one hit here, everything would fall down. I mean, California, at least they probably have like guidelines and things.
They do, they do. They have specific things they have to follow, don't they? So it's kind of crazy. Yeah. So hey, look, Mehmet said they have one too in Turkey. You beat us by 0.4, which I guess in earthquake terms does end up being significantly different.
Guaranteed it's significant, Turkey does have earthquakes a lot.
Yeah,
they do. Get these much here, so like this is
it's the biggest one we've had here since early 1900s. So we have them all the time, but you very rarely feel them. So there is a mountain range north, and they do get them there a bit, but you very rarely feel them. This one was big enough to be felt as far away as like South Carolina, I guess.
Yeah.
Some people said in Atlanta they could feel it. It's like that's a trek, but you know,
yeah, cool.
So,
right, so what are we talking about today?
We have a good topic for today.
Okay.
We're going to talk about applying for jobs and what not to do.
Okay. Cool.
Some things that we've seen, a whole bunch of varied things. We'll talk about these. We're like, oh yeah, we have a million of these things. Let's just talk about 10. So we came up with 10 of these things to talk about, so we're going to go through those. Before we do that, let's say hey to some people.
Let's say hey. What's up?
So Adam's here.
What's up, Adam?
Thank you for being our moderator, both here and on Discord, Adam. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Estevan's back. Thanks, Estevan, for joining us again. We're looking forward to this one too. We have a lot of opinions on this stuff.
We do. Yeah.
Being on both sides of the table, like I've interviewed at a bunch of stuff. Bobby's interviewed a bunch of people. So it's kind of cool. Jack's here. Hey, Jack. Andreas is back. I don't know why he thinks the thumbnail was a disappointment. Andreas, I got to tell you, I threw that thing together in 2 minutes. So
I don't know.
I don't know. I spent 2 whole minutes on that, Andreas, this morning. So don't tell me it's a fail. Let's see. Obviously, Mehmet's here. He's talking about the earthquake too. So some small internship application tips. Internship application tips. Oh, some of this stuff's going to apply today.
I'm going to apply to that. I think so anyway.
Definitely. Some of this stuff, it doesn't matter job or internship. You got to approach it the same way. So, BK's back. I'm hoping everyone had a great weekend. I did. Earthquakes and all. Who else is here? Let me see. Oh, my thing moved up. Fury Papa is here too. Music is on now.
Yeah.
This was 12:03. We were a little bit late, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was my fault.
We failed on one of our things we're going to talk about today. Don't ever be late.
Right.
DD's here too. Happy first day of the week to you too. Chad's back. He thought someone was breaking in.
Okay. Yeah.
It did have that vibe. I think when people woke up, they were like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Very strange.
I went outside to see if any trees fell or anything.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. My security cameras, I looked at with them afterwards, they moved very slightly. I was like, it's not even like YouTube worthy content.
You could feel it. You could feel it though.
Yeah. You could feel it definitely, but you couldn't really see it.
Yeah.
Denzel's here. Thanks for joining us, Denzel. Alex is here too. Thanks for joining us, Alex. Luke's here. Good morning, Luke. Thanks for swinging on by. Synchronize is here too. Oh, and thank you for the compliment. We appreciate it. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just show up here.
Yeah, exactly.
We like talking to you guys. Codegate has a question too. Let's do a question before we go into this. How's COVID-19 affected the job market for the next year or so? I need to leave my current job. Looking at an old language called Blaze for a C# job.
Okay.
It's tough though. If you have a job right now, I get it. It's tough to leave that job.
Right. So, but you know, it is coming back. We have seen significant movement on our side, like because we're down in the trenches trying to find people jobs. So, definitely frequency of interviews has definitely picked up in the last 2 weeks. So if you're looking at August 2020, August 10th, then it's gotten better. And I think that you see job numbers. I don't know how they do that, but like we're at 10% unemployment versus 20.
Yeah.
So that's better than it was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So,
it's trending the right way.
Yeah. That means there's a lot more opportunities. And then coders in general, you have lots more opportunities than most people out there that are looking for jobs. So if you're in the restaurant industry, it sucks right now. If you're working and want to get a C# job, I would say you have a good opportunity to move. So I still think it's pretty good for that. So
yep. So Andreas wasn't critiquing my card; he was critiquing your face.
My face.
I don't remember what face was on the card, but that's pretty funny. It says it matches the title.
All right, cool.
That's funny. Bass Guitarist is here too. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for answering the demo link questions last week. Anytime. You are very welcome. And Voice the First says hello. I like the name. Oh, I like the card
Voice
too. Very
the
cool.
First. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like your image there too.
I wonder what the significance of that name is.
I don't know.
Tell us.
Yeah, tell us. Maybe that's the YouTube channel. I don't know. Maybe they have a channel. So, what was I going to say? Maverick's here too.
What's up, Maverick?
You out. I didn't. What's the Bitcoin
No, we didn't hear it.
No. Maybe we've been hacked and didn't even know it.
So they do a deep fake with Bill Gates asking for Bitcoin?
Maybe. I saw that the kids that did get arrested. There's like some 17-year-old in like Florida or something. Like
and then the conspiracy theorists came out and said that it wasn't them. They got framed.
Of course they did. But nothing's real these days. Nothing is real.
The government did it. So, all right.
Yeah.
I think the kids did it.
The kids definitely did it. I think we're pretty safe in the kids did it.
I think a lot of people's misunderstanding of the skill set it took to do that.
Yeah.
And that's why people
I guarantee it is.
These uneducated people on hacking said,
"Yeah,
no way, man. That's government sponsored hacking." I'm like, no, they just asked some dude for the password and he gave it to him.
Yeah,
that's like, or better yet, he knew someone that worked there and they just did him a solid. I mean, and they didn't think they would get caught. You know?
Yep. And it's a kid because most people understand the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
Somebody who's younger doesn't understand the repercussions as much. So it's more likely to be someone who doesn't really like, just doing it for fun. And it's like, doesn't really matter. So.
Right. And for some reason, like, they didn't go after the president's Twitter account. That's the one I thought that, if you got that.
But don't forget, it was. Exactly. He must not be because it was through that third party. The third party got hacked.
Okay.
And it was like they post stuff to Twitter. So it wasn't Twitter itself. It was a third party. Yeah, scheduling engines.
Okay.
Yep. So you must use a different one.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. Yep.
But all those guys use the same engine, so
right. Apparently it's a popular one. Yep. And very unsecure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple of things we have coming up before we jump into this too. So, sneak peek on probably a Wednesday. We're gonna push out a members option on our channel.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll make a video for it.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a video for it. So I just want to give you guys a sneak peek. We sort of have it ready to go, but we're probably gonna do it on Wednesday, right before we go live on Wednesday. So we're gonna have a few things that you guys can do with this. Just a sneak peek into these. We're gonna have a new Discord tag that you can get. You're gonna have a Q&A session where it's like a members only Q&A session, or a portion of a Q&A session where it's members only. We can turn it on and off. So it's basically an opportunity where you're guaranteed to get your question answered. I know sometimes when we go in those things and we get a lot of them, we can't get to them all. Well, this sort of like, if you're a member, you're guaranteed to get your thing answered.
Yeah.
What was the other thing we had on there?
Super secret luck.
Oh, yes. Super secret luck. Yeah, this one's a good one. So if you have or we do any giveaways on the channel, you're gonna have a 5 times chance to win versus a non-member. So it's like you're buying luck. I don't know. It is pay to win, I guess.
Pay to win.
But hey,
pay to win for the win.
But what isn't these days, right? So yeah. Adam's asking if we get members only jackets. You do get members only. So here's the other cool thing you get with this. So you do get some members only emoji that you can use in chat, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I've made some specific emoji for this. You also get like a loyalty badge. So the longer you've been a member, your badge number changes all the way up to like 12 months, where you can be like, you get the Coda Foundry orange badge. So it shows that you've supported us for a while. Cool. So I'm gonna call this like our taco fund. This will basically buy us like tacos for lunch.
That's it.
If a couple of you guys decide to do it, that's what it'll get us. It's not gonna make us rich, but we figured, you guys get some extra stuff. You get to support us, and because some of you guys have been asking about it too. So we want to do that. So it's kind of cool.
Here we go.
The other thing too, I did make new large size shirts too. Okay. So shirts are now in up to a few of the designs. I think it's 4 designs now, up to 4X. So if you guys go to the Teespring store, which is this one right here,
man,
you can get 4X shirts now in a bunch of different designs.
This isn't in the store yet, the Fluent and 5. You got to graduate Coder Founder to get this shirt.
You do. So that is a graduate only shirt.
Special edition.
Who here has one? Adam has one. I know Adam has one.
Adam's got one.
I don't know who else has one though. Today we've had Tim Cook, we've had MKBHD. Today, Mark Zuckerberg. Thanks for joining us, Mark. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
He says that's why you should be on Facebook. We are on Facebook, Mark. You should know this. We're streaming on there right now. Why don't you just jump over there and comment over there on Facebook?
We're triple streaming.
That's pretty funny. We're triple streaming.
Mark Zuckerberg's on Twitch.
That's funny. That's great. Okay. So let's jump into our topic. I know we've been here a few minutes already.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we came up with 10 topics around applying for jobs and sort of interviewing for jobs. We've kept them kind of loose in that topic. But 10 things really not to do, or 10 mistakes you can make.
Yeah.
So let's start out with.
We'll tell you what you should do too, as well.
We'll tell you what you should do exactly. Mm-hmm. Not just don't do this, but do this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So number one that we came up with was, you interview for the job, you go through the whole thing, you've done great, and then you just forget about it, and then the company also forgets about you.
Right.
Because you didn't follow up.
Right. So I got 2 kind of things that I want to talk about on this one. First off is you absolutely 100% should follow up, and you should follow up, I think, immediately. Number 1. You're
talking about like when you literally get off the call or the Zoom or whatever it is, and you send an email straight away.
Right. And so in order to be able to do that follow-up, I think you ask a key question when they ask you the question, hey, what can you answer? And you're like, well, I would like to know how I did. And I realize that you got to go back and, confer among your team. Is there an email that I could reach out to so I could follow up to see how I did? Because it helps my interview process. Even if I'm not a fit, I would like to get some feedback on how I did. And then they'll typically give you an email address. And then you just email them and you thank them for the time, and then give them 3 reasons why that you feel like you're a fit for the job that they're putting out there, and say, I would really like to work there. Thanks for your time. And then you just keep following up and see if you can get feedback, and ask for feedback.
Right.
So it's a definitive ask.
Yep. So that's it. The follow-up can be an ask. It's not just a hey, thanks for the time. It can be that. But it can also be like, hey, I just want to know how I did, trying to improve my process here.
So Maverick has a related question here. Let's see.
Okay, yeah. What happens if a recruiter ghosts you?
See,
it happens.
It does happen, but here's what I think really happens is people say they get ghosted, but they never followed up with the recruiter. They never did anything. You just didn't hear back. They didn't reach out to me proactively. And and that's the mistake a lot of people make. They feel like it's on the company to get back to you, or it's on the recruiter to get back to you, and it's on you to get the feedback. And just think about the things that you can control. You can't control whether they send you an email, but you can control whether you send them an email. And they may still ghost you, and that's okay, but they're going to remember that you're out there. And so if you're just being positive, and so like one of the things about, hey, if they ghost you, don't send them hate mail like, yo, bro, what's up, man? You're not very pro.
That's the worst thing you can do.
You know, I expected more from a company like you. You suck at your job. You should quit. So like, that's not the follow-up we're talking about. We're saying like, you should say, hey, it helps me in my professional development if you can tell me how I did on that interview.
Yep.
And then I would really like to work there, and I think I fit the criteria because of these 3 things. And that should be your follow-up game. And you work them to a yes or a no.
Yeah, that's another part of this too, is you have to end. So you have to keep going. It can be 7. You can reach out to somebody 7 times. Yeah. Like you just have to keep asking about it. If you keep getting ghosted, just keep on at it. And this is true, Andres. Right. It is forcing them to remember you too and your interview. It's if you're nice and positive, they'll say, man, I really need to get back to that guy. It's like, so I think it does put you in a positive light. And I like Tech Rally's comment here too. It's like, find another recruiter. So here's the thing is, man, you can work with multiple recruiters, and I think that's okay. I worked with 3. I made friends with one of them, and we're still friends today. But like, I worked with 3 at any given time, and I just gave my recruiter the heads up of where I was being presented. I kept track of where I was being presented. Yeah. To make sure that I wasn't dual presented somewhere else, and there was a fight over the commission fee. And typically that means you won't get it if the hiring person says, I don't know who to pay. And so they'll throw you out of the candidate. So it's on you to make sure that you don't get dual presented. I think that's good. Right. But yeah, you can work with other recruiters, and if the recruiter's not helping you, find another one. It's okay. So it's good. Yep. Perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
So we actually had a recent.
I've got one more follow-up tip. I forgot. This one's good. This is a deep cut. So let's say that and this only applies really to tech interviews, but it could apply to if you like bombed a question. Like if they asked you like how to, speed cut through something in Premiere or something like that. Yeah. And you totally blanked on it. You blanked. You're like, I don't know. And they think, well, you've never used Premiere. You can't work here. Yeah. But let's say they asked you a coding challenge question and you totally blanked on it. And, so this is what we recommend doing. And one of our students did this last week, and I'll come back next week to tell you how it turned out for him. Yeah. So he messes up on the coding challenge. Yep. Didn't know, he blanked out in the interview, but he went home that night, coded it up, and sent him a Git repo and said, I was just nervous, whatever. Here's my solution. To that question that you asked me earlier in the day. And we know 100% that this left an impression because the employer emailed us about it. And said that was amazing that he sent that in. So like, let's say they ask you how to reverse a string, something you should know in JavaScript without using built-in array functions, common interview question. And you just could not remember that. Yeah, correct. I had a decrementing for loop and strings are arrays of characters. You didn't remember any of that stuff. Go back, write a solution, send them a web page with it or a GitHub link and said, I thought about it now, and now that I don't have pressure, I figured it out, and here you go. Yep. That's what you should do. Yep. It 100% left an impression, and it was a good impression. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great little follow-up tip. It's another way to follow up as well. Oh, here's another one, and I like this too. Hit that. Member says, the recruiters visiting my school had no technical knowledge. How can I market myself to that kind of recruiter? So this is a mistake us coders make. And we do this all the time. And this is part of the hate for recruiters is for some reason we think recruiters should also be developers. Yeah. And they're not. They're not. It's very rare to get one that is. It's very rare to get one that's technical, enough technical to understand. No. Trust me, if they were a developer, they wouldn't be a recruiter. That's right. What they're good at is finding you opportunities. So stop hating on recruiters because they're not software developers, and just use them for their contacts to the job market. And that's what you need them to do, is make a professional relationship with a company and bring that the opportunity to you. And then you have to impress the hiring manager with technical knowledge, not the recruiter. The recruiter has no idea how good you are with C# or React or whatever, and that's okay. What you're doing with the recruiter is passing the first level thing that says, okay, he's got these acronyms on his resume. But, and this is why I say, if you have a rock star portfolio, you're going to impress that non-technical recruiter. They're like, I can sell that. And I've heard recruiters say that all the time. Like, I can sell that. That's amazing. That's cool. So I think that them being non-technical helps you in that you can impress them with things that may normally not be impressive to some people.
Yep.
So, that's my thought.
Definitely.
Make friends with them. Don't make enemies.
Exactly. And hey, look, if you guys need some help, Zuckerberg said just head on over to Menlo Park and he'll get you hired. That's it. Oh, I love it.
From
That's
Twitch. Great. They just acquired Twitch. He broke news.
Just to confirm.
Zuckerberg.
Mark, you're still on Twitch.
He brought Twitch. He bought Twitch this morning. That's what he did. He couldn't get TikTok.
He couldn't get TikTok. Twitch. That's funny. That's funny. Who else was in the buying for TikTok? Who else did I see this weekend?
Oh, they're all in it now.
Twitter now? They're all talking
Twitter,
about it.
Google.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Such a weird thing, man. Yeah. Such a weird thing. Like, the government's dictated that this company must sell to stay in business. Such a strange thing. This is like unheard of. Like, it's weird. And all these companies are like, yes, we'll buy it. Yes, of course we will.
Yeah, I don't.
Strange.
I don't know.
What a weird time to be in. What a weird time to be in.
Don't make spyware, I guess.
I guess, or do and sell for billions. I don't know. Maybe it was a scam all along.
Yeah, exactly.
So Mark Adams said he'll be over. So
right, cool.
Hook him up, man. Hook him up. Okay, so that's number one. I'm gonna go to number 4 on our list.
Okay.
Because it relates to number 1. I'm just gonna call this the new number 2. This was not tracking your applications as you go along. Them. So it's one thing, you can't follow up if you're not tracking them.
Right.
You need to track them. You can't just remember, like, oh yeah, man, I forgot last week I applied for that one and I totally forgot to follow up because I didn't track it. You should. I mean, you may potentially apply to 100 jobs, 200 jobs. You need a way to manage your follow up game. So we suggest something like using like a Kanban. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to share this here. We found a cool one before. We have no affiliation to these guys. We just like what they do.
Yeah, and you can build this in a spreadsheet too if you wanted to.
You can put this in a spreadsheet. You can use something like.
Makes it easier though.
Exactly. I like. What's the other one we were using before? And I forget the name of it now off the top of my head. But we were using one before internally too. But here we go. This is Hunter. Mm-hmm. They have a free tier. And it's an easy way just to track your job search. It's kind of cool. I thought they had a demo on here somewhere. Here we go. View a demo board. There we go. So you can see it basically have like the wish list jobs, the applied, the ones on the phone, the on-site, the offers. You can customize this totally too. So basically following your job all the way through. And this has like cool drag and drop too. So yeah, I've applied for this software engineer job at Facebook. So, Mark.
What's up, man?
So yeah, it's cool. You can see all the activities and stuff and notes, and it's like a cool way of tracking this stuff. But you could do this on a spreadsheet too.
Yeah, exactly.
But the point is, track it.
Yeah, and you need to track all your follow-up attempts. And so this one, you need to add like emails and phones. So they're just tracking activity, but you need to track follow-up in here, which is like per the job, how many times I email them and call them.
Yep.
And plan on 7 per each job.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Put the link down there in chat too.
Yeah, if we're not affiliated, so like if you want,
have that's a straight link to them. We just like what they do. Yeah, it's specifically designed for job hunting, but you can use another version of it too if you want to. There's a bunch of different online Kanban you can use. Because the color scheme look like angry fruit salad.
Yeah.
It was a little bright, I admit. I probably would have gone for more.
You're trying to separate each one. I get it.
Yeah. Colors are hard sometimes.
I would do more repeating colors. I was designing it like the dark light scheme, but that's what I would do.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. You could do it. You could make an appointment tracker as an app for a 100%. Portfolio.
Yeah, man.
You could make a cam board with drag and drop for sure. You could.
Sure. Yeah.
We might even be looking at making one of those at some point.
I'm building one right now.
So. We totally talked about it. So
yeah, we're going to kernel for students. I don't know when it'll be ready, but probably November class or September class, where you'll be able to, and then we'll roll it out to previous students too, and that you can like track your own cam board. It'll be like a Hunter clone.
Yep.
So we're just going to run internally.
So, Mark says if you can't beat them, buy them.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
Adam says that Indeed do have some basic tracking abilities too.
I did not know that. I'll check that out.
Yeah, I guess if you apply for something through their platform, it says like that you've applied. So it does that much. I know. I don't know what else it does, but yeah, just some way of keeping track of it. Because it's going to get, like, if you, like I say, you apply for 100, 200 different positions, whatever it is, you apply for 50 different positions, 10 positions, you're going to get them mixed up.
Yeah. And then, like,
contact details.
It's just a sales tracking tool. Just think of it that way. Like, you're tracking your sales.
Yep.
If you don't track your sales, you'll forget to follow up.
Yep.
And so the cool thing about follow-up is they may offer a job to a candidate and they may get turned down. And then your follow-up comes in that moment and they're like, oh, I remember that guy.
Exactly. They might be like, oh man, we just had to, okay. Yeah. You're right. Put yourself on the top of their mind.
Yeah. Or someone just quit and you're in for a different job now. Cause you're like, oh, we interviewed him already. I liked him.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Okay. Right, so that's 2 tips.
Got 8 more.
Tip number 3. Yeah. Tip number 3. Early on in the game, this is a big one, which is really tip number 2 on our list. Unprofessional email addresses. We still see it.
Yeah, we still see it with students coming in, like,
all the time. In every class. I don't know sorry if anybody's in our current class with an unprofessional email address, but you need to change it.
Change it. Frag Monster 47 just isn't going to get it done, man.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Yeah. Big Bad Joe at Gmail. It's not.
Yeah. But let's say your name is, you're in the US, your name is Joe Smith. I mean, Joe Smith 57 at Gmail isn't bad.
It's way better than Frag Monster 57 at Gmail.
Yeah, exactly. So it's okay if it has a number.
Yeah.
But like usually it's your name. It's easy to identify with your name. And if you can't get your name and number, then do that. But like I think it identifies you as a person and not.
For me, it has to be some variation of your name. That's the only professional thing you can do.
Yeah.
Short of if you have a brand. If you have a brand, it can be different. But it has to be an established brand and it has to be a professional brand. So I think that Tech Rally could get away with having TechRally at gmail.com or TechRally at TechRally.com, whatever we would want to do. It would probably be better if it was just name at your domain, though, still, even if that's the case.
And so the meta is to get your own domain name and then create your own email address.
Yep.
It does cost more money, but like,
Yep.
So that's the other thing. So you can have, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like now, if I was Kevin at coderfoundry.com, whatever it is, right? Where it's a brand and it's a thing. But if it was my own brand, I would do that too. If I had my own brand, I would brand the whole thing, but I would also use my first name at mybrand.com, whatever that is. Whatever that is. Or you find some variation of your last name or something like that, and you'd be like Kevin at Doyle.com or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that too. But it's got to be something related around your name. It should be obvious what's unprofessional.
Yeah.
I mean, if you question it, then...
All right, so this is a good one. Yes, that's unprofessional.
Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, because it's like a nickname, right?
That's what Eric your wife Bruce or your girlfriend calls you, your mom.
E-Bruce is like your nickname. So yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, so E-Bruce would be better. Eric Bruce.
Yeah.
Yep. But the Brewster.
Yeah, if you drop the exactly the Brewster. If you new nickname, Eric. Yeah, but I agree. If you drop the Y from that, it would be better.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's
a
all.
Good question.
That's it. Good.
If you find yourself like thinking, like, is that unprofessional? It probably is. Yeah. If it's boring and bland, you should be okay. And that should be the right thing. Because it's not a point you want to stand out on to a recruiter or to a hiring manager. You don't want to be like that guy that's just, it's kind of tough. See, this one's kind of tough too, Maverick. We know you here as this name. A recruiting manager does not know you as Maverick. He's going to think like Top Gun fanboy. That's weird. I would change that if applying for a job. I would use my real name. Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So look at this.
Sorry. Changing now. Yeah, change it. If you're putting that on applications, definitely change it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And again, you're not. If ever anybody has these, we see them all the time. This is not uncommon, but I guarantee you, recruiters will think less of you. It's a weird thing, but they will.
Right.
And hiring managers may look down on you too, but that's just the way that it is. Okay. Tip number 4. LinkedIn profiles.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of stuff around this.
Yeah. So there's a lot of courses around this and a lot of things that you can do. My friend Danny Thomas is helping people create LinkedIn profiles.
Yep.
And he seems to be getting great results specifically for people trying to break in.
Yep.
But in general, you should have you got to have a LinkedIn profile. If you don't have one, go make one. B, LinkedIn is not Facebook. So your profile picture should be pro.
Yes.
I was interviewing coders here, and I remember calling a LinkedIn profile, and the guy had his LinkedIn profile picture with his tongue sticking out. I didn't even call him. I didn't even send him a message. I just moved on. I didn't even care what was on his thing. And so
LinkedIn is not Facebook. Get that in your head. It is not Facebook.
And then the other thing too is
sorry, Mark.
I know you got married, but you don't put your prom picture or your marriage picture on the LinkedIn profile,
Yep.
So you get your tuxedo and the wife is cut out a little bit, or it's a picture of you and the family photo and you just get zoomed in, but you can see it's part of a larger photo.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man, take a picture.
Go stand in some light and get somebody take a picture of you with their phone. It's going to be better. It's just going to be better. So not only from the picture standpoint too, but firstly, having one is important. Secondly, make sure you have a pro picture. Thirdly, make sure that you've used it. Don't let your LinkedIn profile be some dusty relic of stuff that's unused. Make sure you've used it. Make sure that you connect with people. Make sure that you post stuff. And when I say post stuff, don't post about where you went on vacation. Don't post dog pictures unless you're a dog groomer. Post dog grooming pictures. We're talking to coders here. Post coding related stuff. You do want to post something. Post stuff about coding.
Yeah, and the other thing too that and this could just be me, and I'm get off my lawn guy, but in general, we talked about this earlier. Is there's certain things right now we need to stay away from, and that's especially in the U.S. Stay away from politics, man. You're trying to find a job. You're not running for office. Hey, if you're repping a candidate, I get it, man. Go ahead and that's your job.
Okay. Hey, if you're applying to be a politician's helper or something, then of course, you've got to be on one side of the thing. If you're applying to work at Greenpeace, you can't post about nuclear energy, right?
No,
it's you've got to be in your ballpark. But here's the thing: if you're applying for a coding job and you put something overtly political on there, you've just alienated 50% of the people that you're applying to.
So if you're pro Biden or pro Trump or anti-Biden, anti-Trump, I don't really care which side of the fence you're on. I don't think that's appropriate for LinkedIn. And then we see so many of these discussions about these guys that are they just get on these rants, and it just doesn't help you. It just doesn't. So I say stay away from that. So the other thing I would say about LinkedIn is you do need to comment quite a bit. I think you find posts that you want to comment on, but don't get into fights on LinkedIn. Just be professional. And I would always say is be positive and try to offer positivity in your LinkedIn comments. So comment on someone's article, comment on someone's post and say, that's amazing. That's great. That's awesome.
Yep.
And if you want to say something negative, just don't comment.
Right. Yeah. That 100%. Yeah. Don't be a troll on LinkedIn.
You don't have to be a troll, man. Trolls aren't. I mean,
go use Facebook or Twitter to do that. You can, even don't do that, because applying for a job these days, anything that you make public on the internet, even sometimes not stuff that you make public, can be found.
Right.
Just Just don't do it. It's just going to hurt your chances of getting a job.
Yeah, and I told Kevin about this several years ago. Like I posted something on LinkedIn, and I just made this benign comment about like, this guy was writing a thing about taxes, and I can't remember what the whole thing was there. And I said, yeah, lower taxes are great. And that's all I said. And then this guy like claps back at me, and I clap back at him. And it's like this 15 thing. And I ended up deleting the whole thing. Like, what am I doing, man? All I'm doing is making myself look bad. Second, number two, I have no control over tax policy. It doesn't matter what I say. Like, it's like, you know, and you know, I like lower taxes, but it doesn't matter who's in office. They've always grown them. So taxes have always been up.
You're never going to have a say in it.
You know, it's
never
like,
going to go down.
And then there's other people who say I like lower taxes, and suddenly I'm not a fan of Social Security, and I'm like, well, no, I'm kind of counting on that. So like, so it just doesn't help you, you know, like it doesn't help you. So like, just stay away from it, you know.
There you go. Maverick says like if someone starts Mac versus PC debate, don't get involved.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get involved on some platforms, but you can. You know, probably not on LinkedIn. Depends.
So LinkedIn isn't Reddit. I mean, Reddit is a place for that. Like, there's a place where you can yell at each other over stuff like that. Yeah. And Reddit's that place. Yeah. LinkedIn is not.
Depends on how you handle these kind of things too. Like Mac versus PC isn't the same as politics. It's just not.
It's meant to be funny, and I think, and it's meant to be. You know, some people take it way too seriously, but like, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's a good point. Look, Didi says a friend working for HR shared before. When paper application was the norm, that they received a photo with two people in the photo. They didn't know who was the applicant. One of the requirements is to submit a 2x2 photo, so the applicant sent that photo. I wonder what that job was for, because that is weird to send in a photo. Like here in the US, they don't generally allow that. You're not like a lot of companies. Well, a lot of companies' policy will be do not send us a photo because they don't want to seem to be discriminating against somebody if they don't hire you for a job because they knew your ethnicity or something. So it's like most companies will tell you not to do that. Right. It's kind of crazy. So the fact that they wanted one, but that's interesting. Yeah. Make sure that you have a good photo on LinkedIn, at least if you are. You have to have one up there.
So this is a good question. He says, what level of detail on LinkedIn? Play pages and pages or just a HQ link piece? I think you need a great synopsis about what you do. There's a title thing, then you can say who you are and what you do. Then out of that, you can write a 2-paragraph thing. And then if you've got a portfolio, make sure you can link it out there. And if you wrote an article or a blog about something, you can do that on the LinkedIn profile too. So,
yep.
I think that's all good.
Didi says it was in Asia. They ask about age and photos often. Actually, Brian says here too, hospitality business kind of common.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah. I guess there's certain like niches. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. You gotta look nice in hospitality. So
if you're a cocktail waitress in Vegas, you're probably looking at photos.
Yeah, they don't care how good your drinks are. They just care what you look like. Definitely in Vegas. That's definitely.
It's not fair. I get it.
It's not fair, but that's the way it works.
That's the way it is.
Yeah. So,
all right. So make a pro LinkedIn profile.
Yes. Make one and make it professional. And
if you don't know, get help. I mean, like, there's a lot of people out there to help you.
There are other people. Yeah. You can find a bunch of people that they can help you with that.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we up to? 5? I think we're on 5. Yeah, number 5. So when you finish the interview, or you're coming towards the end of your interview, let's say, you don't ask for the job.
Right.
You don't just outright come and ask.
Right.
There's this weird stigma thing, like it's like scary to be like, oh, I would really like this job.
Exactly.
Just expressing your interest seems like this really foreign thing, and people just don't do it.
They're afraid to do it. They think it's rude, especially in America. I can't speak for it in other places, but they feel like it's asking is rude. And so what I would say is, not only should you say, hey, I really want to work here, you said you could also give them like 3 reasons why you're a fit. You know, and so, and you know, and they'll say, what kind of questions do you have? Like, number 1, where can I get follow-up from? Number 2, I would really like to work here, and I feel like my skill has been demonstrated in my portfolio. I feel like I've got a good handle on what you do here, and I feel like culturally we're a good fit. I feel like our conversation went well, and so I think that if you can make me an offer, I would love to be here.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it leaves an impression too. It's like it's a chance to be like, to show your genuine interest in wanting to do it. Because I think some people, you leave away and they're like, do they really want this job? They leave out the interview and it's just like, are they really interested in it? Or are they just here because it's a paycheck? You've got to get past that, like, I'm here just because it's a paycheck thing.
Yeah. This is Adam's got a great point here.
Apparently they're having a problem of people paying someone else to take phone interviews for them, and then the person who showed up for the job was not the person who interviewed for it.
100% happened to one of our clients. And
really?
Yes, 100%. We interviewed a couple of candidates at one of our clients, a big client of ours, and we didn't win, which is okay. We can't win them all. We're not mad at them. It's okay. So, but the guy they chose that they interviewed, a different guy showed up.
That's nuts. Hold on. So is this a thing then? Do you pay somebody to do this? Or is it like a friend? You paid somebody to do it?
Yeah, they pay. They'll have these recruiting companies that are unsavory. So like,
wow.
And it's not the big ones. So it's not like, it's not Tech Systems.
Well, because they wouldn't stay in business for too long.
Tech Systems could also get duped by this. Like where they're talking to a candidate and then his buddy just shows up at work and they're just hoping it works out for him.
Wow.
So
I mean, you could see how it would. If you were in a big enough company, I could 100% see how that would work. And I bet it has worked plenty of times in the past. You just shot and all of a sudden you're in and that's it.
Yeah.
Because imagine how embarrassing it is to be the person you report to on the first day to be like, are you the same person? Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be for that person? They're just a person too. They're just the manager that you have to report to.
And so what Adam is saying is true, that these recruiting companies now are like doing verifications, and that they're supposed to do employment verification, personal verifications, to make sure that the person that they're working with is the same person that shows up. And so that's what they're doing.
Wow. Well, this is what it was saying. The recruiter you had on a few weeks ago regarding me to not only provide a photo, but it had a video chat with them to screenshot of my face. Wow. Yeah. So that shows you that it must be like rampant too. It must be. If they're doing that for everybody that's coming through, that's nuts.
Yeah. So, but wow. I called the client back. I said, hey, that guy that you interviewed, he's still here. He lives in Kernersville.
He's still interested.
He could be there next week because I heard about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny.
Wow. So yeah, that's something to look out for. That's kind of nuts. Yes, Brian, that's exactly what it's like. Thanks so much. Big college lecture. That's funny. Okay, let's go on to step number 6.
Okay.
Something that we failed on today.
Yeah.
Being late. Being late. Don't be late.
So don't be late. So like a lot of times you'll get video interviews now or video chats. You need to get there, I would say 15 minutes early so that you can check your setup. Number one, make sure your mic's working. And we're going to talk about tech here in a second. Your mic works, your camera works. You can get into Zoom or whatever platform they're using.
Yep.
And so like you can make sure it all works. And then as soon as they go on and join the call, you're right there.
Yeah. You want to be there. So you don't want them to have joined before you've joined. I think that's the thing. You want to be like they're in the waiting room, ready for them, because it'll leave this weird impression with them. Even if they're on early, right? Let's say they're on 2 minutes early. If they're sat there for 2 minutes without you waiting on you, it leaves a negative impression of you.
Yeah.
It's this weird subconscious thing. But if you're there, you're waiting, join 5 minutes early, even if they're not there, it's not going to cause you any harm. Make sure that all your tech works. Like for right now, okay, so I'm on a PC. I have a few cameras. It's set up, and it's like this weird thing. I have multiple microphones. So I would never attend from this machine. I would never attend a job interview from this machine. I'm not convinced that it's not going to fail at some point or that I have to have some setup. I would 100% attend on my laptop, because I know it's consistent and I know it's going to work every time. Built-in microphone, built-in webcam, it's just going to work. It's not going to fail me. It's never failed me, and it's not going to. No matter what platform it is, it's going to work. That's how I would attend.
Okay, cool.
I wouldn't make it too complex. Don't overcomplicate it. I wouldn't use this camera. I wouldn't use this microphone. I just wouldn't. Even though it's better quality for YouTube, for an interview, my laptop meets a minimum amount of criteria, and that's what they would expect people to interview on too.
Exactly.
I think the remainder of our stuff here is mainly concentrated around now remote interviewing.
Yeah.
Because that's the new 2020 thing, right? That's the new thing for this year that most of us have never done before.
And you better get good at it.
You better get good at it.
Yeah. And so I think that the one thing that you can do is if you use a built-in webcam on a laptop, and we talked about this earlier, is like it does auto exposure. So regardless of your lighting, it's going to kind of like figure all that out.
Yep.
If you're using a fancy like Pocket Cinema from Blackmagic, like I'm using,
you better know how to use it.
No, like we gotta adjust this thing. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. You better know how to adjust it and use it.
Yeah, so
which actually leads into like step 7 on our
show
thing.
You something like this is what my screen looks like over here. This is the color correction on my camera. You don't want to use this for an interview because it's too complicated. And for a YouTube show, it's okay. And in fact, we want it because we want a certain look here and look.
And here's the thing too: if we mess up here on YouTube, you guys just think we suck for a minute.
Matter.
We'll be back tomorrow. It doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things. You mess up on an interview and do something weird, you don't get the job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of different, which is bad lighting.
Bad lighting.
Bad lighting in these situations. Like, here's what people do. There's 2 mistakes they make. They're in a dungeon.
Right.
It's way too dark. There's no light at all. No lights is bad. You better just turn the overhead lights on.
Yeah.
Second mistake they make, they sit in front of a window with the window behind them.
You. And so like then you look like you're Gandalf coming in to save the day, at 2 towers.
So what happens is people will turn their webcam on and they'll be like, man, like it's kind of bright in here. Why can't the camera see my face? Yeah. It's because it's trying to expose for both your face and the window behind you. And the window behind you, and there's such a difference between the two, it doesn't know what to do. Generally, it tries to expose for the window behind you, the brightest thing, and it makes you really dark. Best thing you can do, turn around. Just have the window in front of you and let the window light you. Have the window behind your camera. It's just so much better.
Yes, I think it was Ridley Scott that said this, is the guy that made Aliens. He said the best diffuser on the face of planet Earth is a cloudy day.
Yes.
So like, he talked about if he could get a cloudy day always to film, that's what he wanted. And the natural light is better than anything with a cloudy day. So
definitely.
Anyway, so like you can get that window and it'll just come filtering in. If it's super bright, you can pull the shade down and it'll still kind of filter through there and be diffused to be nice.
Yep. Most modern laptops with a webcam now, if you have just some light and it's not right behind you, it'll expose it correctly.
Yeah.
Even if it's super bright window right in front of you, most modern webcams will fix that exposure for you. They'll expose the room correctly. They tend to not overexpose it. The only issue is if it's super, super, super bright, it might be, but again, just close a blind or move further away from the window or move so the window's on the side like mine is over here. Yeah. Just don't have it right behind you. It just looks bad.
Yeah, exactly.
You can always move yourself around.
All right, what's next?
Number 8. Slightly related to this, but a bad background.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't interview right here. I would not sit right here for an interview.
With the sweet gift back there?
No, I wouldn't. I would want it to be bland and boring.
Okay.
Either a plain wall or like a regular looking room.
Yeah.
Unless I knew the hiring manager was a Star Wars fan, then I would sit here and I'd do this and put it here.
Yeah.
Which, I could have done my research and found that out, but I generally wouldn't.
But also, like we laughed about this too. Like, don't fake your fandom. Like, so let's say he's a Star Wars fan. Then he asks, "Well, who played Mandalorian?" You're like, "I haven't seen that yet."
Or he's like, "Oh, what do you think of Mandalorian? Awesome, right?" You'd be like, I don't know. Yes,
yes,
yeah. Yoda was awesome. You'd be like,
"I like Yoda." You mean Baby Yoda?
Exactly. So, don't fake it. Yeah, don't fake it. It will catch you out. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, exactly. So don't fake it. Don't fake your fandom.
Don't fake it. But for your background, make it simple. Just this is for YouTube. This is different. We have
in general. If you're using Zoom, I think the engineered backgrounds are bad. I know that some of our students have do interviews and they do the picture backgrounds. I don't like them.
Yeah.
because like if you move or whatever, your face can get cut off and it can be distracting.
Yeah.
But I guess I'd have to see kind of what the real background looks like and versus the other one.
And so that's exactly. I think that's the thing. If you genuinely cannot make your background look nice and clean or bland and boring,
right,
use the virtual one.
Right. And then pick something that's also like boring and just it doesn't just distract. Like they're there to interview you, not look that you've got, Avengers Tower behind you. I mean, like, it's like I don't think that's appropriate for an interview. So
no, it's not.
And Maverick's asking, what about Zoom backgrounds? And I hate them.
I would see that.
I hate them. Like when we started with Teams and we started with Zoom, I was the first couple of meetings and everyone was like playing around with them. And then like,
and you realize it's cutting off half of your face because we're not evenly lit. Yeah. They probably work better if you do have even lighting, but then we're talking about getting a 3-point lighting setup. Like if you're doing a 3-point lighting setup, you don't need a Zoom background. You can probably get a better background behind you.
Yeah. And so like here, I've got 2 lights in front of me that are like above, you don't have to do what I'm doing. If I had a window right here, I probably wouldn't have lights.
Yep. I don't even have my light on today. And if there's enough light from the window, I sometimes don't even turn it on.
And sometimes it's a little overexposed on my front, but like in general, it's okay.
Yep. I'm going to jump to the last one and we'll come back to number 9. Let's go to technically number 10, but this is number 9. Because JJ asked this too. Facial hair. How about a goatee? So our tip here is dress professionally. Look professional.
Right.
That includes facial hair and things like that too. Again, I wouldn't show up for an interview in a t-shirt and a ball cap.
Yeah.
That's just not you're not going to get the job.
And if you're rocking a goatee on a regular basis, and that's how you are, I mean, it's fine. I mean, just like, but trim it up, So like, and I always tell people like, you can have a beard, but you don't need to look like ZZ Top either. So like, there's a balance between like, get that under control. I don't know if y'all know Big Ben from the Steelers. Like, he had like this epic kind of like beard, like he was hunting for a living, But like, that's out of control. But if you're in an interview, like just look neat and presentable and professional.
Yep.
And beards are acceptable. I mean, you can wear a beard and wear a goatee and wear a mustache, but like just make sure it's just not crazy, out of control.
Exactly. Make sure it's not distracting.
And unwieldy.
Yep. And as far as dress goes, dress like you're showing up for the in-person interview, even though you're doing it remotely.
Yeah,
that includes wearing pants if you're a guy. Don't wear sweatpants. Don't wear shorts. Because if there's the off chance that you have to stand up for something, you're going to look like an idiot.
You're going to look like a moron. So like, and also too, I think psychologically, if you're dressed up and you're all dressed up, I think that goes to your confidence level because you feel like, okay, I'm ready to go. But if you're always trying to get away with it and you're in shorts, you may have that in your back of your mind where you're not super confident because you know that you're sitting there in your boxers, so.
Right. That's true. Like Maverick said, actually, initially you thought you meant criminal background. Hey, if you have a criminal background applying for a job, don't lie about it because they will do a check and they will find out. It's pointless. Yeah, man. It's pointless.
Baskin Robbins always knows.
Yeah, that's it. We've helped people in the past with criminal backgrounds, and it's like you just got to be on the table. You got to put it out there, and it just is what it is. Yeah.
JJ's going to get a trim now. He's going to get trimmed up. That's what I think you should do, JJ. Get you a little trim.
Yep. Yep. Oh, there was one other tip too. While we're talking about technology as well. If you only have a cell phone camera to attend your meeting on, here's what you don't do. Don't get it and attend your meeting like that. Right? Don't sit there and be like, so it's going to be terrible.
Don't attend it in your car.
Don't do it in your car. Don't walk around with it. Don't be walking the dog. We've seen it. While you're interviewing, we've seen it.
People have interviewed for Coder Foundry to get in here, walking the dog with their phone and then yelling at their neighbors. Guess who's not at Coder Foundry? You're like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Man.
Doesn't work. It does not work.
Yeah.
So if you do only have your phone, though, get something like this. Get one of these things. This is a Joby, I think it's like a Gorilla Pod or something it's called.
Yeah.
But it has a phone attachment, and it's pretty simple to use. You just stick your phone in here. I'll put it in real quick.
And you can shoot landscape
or phone in here, and you can and then you just adjust it so that you can have your phone on a tripod, and you can sit it on your desk. You can shoot landscape, portrait, whatever you need. Super simple. These things are like $30-$40, something like that. You can probably buy a generic cheap one too.
Yeah.
I think you can spin this thing around too, right? Yeah, you can. So you can move it to landscape if you want to. Like sit yourself, set that in front of you, or even attach it to your monitor or something too. You get these little things. So these legs, like you can grip them to your monitor so it sits over the top, and have it so that it makes you look good. Don't handhold the camera.
As far as camera position, like straight on the best you can get it. Overhead is okay. Underneath is bad.
Underneath is generally going to be bad.
I'm looking like straight up under your and then seeing into your nose. That's bad.
Yeah.
So I want to get that camera up. Like mine is just about right here.
Yep.
So if I'm looking up in the camera, I'm looking into it now. It's a little higher because my monitor's in the way.
Yep.
And that's why we say laptop's better, because the laptop has the perfect.
They do. It's always built into the screen. Yeah.
It's just built in.
Yeah. It's like mine now is slightly too high. I'm always looking slightly down.
But my monitor's
look up here, but it's like, exactly. Yeah. Bigger monitors just mean that you can't have it down. So yeah. There you go. Adam says he has like $10
man. Yeah, $20. Yep. Make sure it's mounted.
There you go. I'm going to post the link to the actual one that I have here right there.
Let's see here. So Walter, how about the correct? So again, straight away, Walter, not underneath. If anything, just a little bit high is better than that.
That's actually a good tip for laptops.
Not to the side, like that kind of stuff.
That's actually a good tip for laptops too. Often you'll find laptops end up looking up. Stick some books below them.
Yeah, get it raised up a little bit.
Raise it up. If you watched when COVID first happened, and you started watching the news on TV, you noticed that all the anchors are working from home, right? You noticed a lot of them ended up raising up their laptops. You can see it off the side of the screen. Sometimes they'll be on screen. You're like, they're sticking books into the laptop. It's because you don't want to look up at yourself. You want to actually eye height or just a little bit higher looking down.
Yeah. So that upward angle just isn't good.
It's unflattering. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. Remember, wearing AirPods in the interview. Yes, that's fine.
I think so. I think you definitely can wear some kind of headset, or not the cans. Though I wouldn't wear the cans, but I think people I would wear iPods if you have them, or like what I'm wearing is plugins. Plugins seem to work. So
I use these on our team meetings. They're great and they work. They're sometimes unreliable. That's my problem with them. So I bought these ones, which are like, I don't know if you can see these. You can barely even tell that I'm wearing them because they're clear.
Right.
These suckers,
mine are just black.
$10.
Yeah.
They're not the world's. I don't need them to be audiophile quality headphones. I just don't need that. And they go down the back and they clip over the top. But they're great for stuff like this.
And I will say this, man, if you have iPods and you have a MacBook, the mic on the MacBook is better than the iPod's mic for Zoom calls.
These things,
the mic is terrible for Zoom calls. I'm sure it's okay for phone.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't use
them. Yeah, it's just different.
The problem with these is if you push audio to them and pull audio from them across Bluetooth, the quality of both deteriorates. So the microphone quality is terrible, and also the audio you're receiving back degrades too. It's really bad. It feels like the difference between listening to music and listening to like a phone call.
Yeah.
If you're talking across the audio on it, if you're using the mic on them, it's bad. The quality coming in feels like a phone call. As soon as you turn the mic off on these and use an external mic, the quality shoots up that you're receiving in. It's weird. It's the technology is not quite there yet. I think it's a Bluetooth limitation. Maybe we'll see that with the next iteration.
So he says, Keeves, read this one, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kev says, feels the laptop is unflattering. The weird angle looking up your nose. Maybe I need to stand. Yeah. A stand or just something to stick it on. Okay. When we first started going live on YouTube here, I did not have this camera set up. I was using the laptop camera in the MacBook.
I was too.
And I stuck it on. I don't have it here. I had a camera case, a hard camera case. I stuck it on top of that. I stuck the camera case on my desk, and I stuck the laptop on top of the camera case. And it put the camera about eye height. Right. It looked a million times better.
Yeah, what was funny about my setup was we have sit-stand desks here, and I just raised the desk up when I was using the MacBook.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because it pulled the camera up to a better height. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool.
Yep. Okay, let's talk about our last one here. Last tip number 10. I'm gonna put all these things in one group: animals, kids, distractions.
Yes.
If you can't fix those things for the half an hour or hour interview that you're going to have, it's going to be bad.
Right.
The person interviewing you is going to believe that you also can't control them when you're working from home, which is a lot of, you're interviewing remotely now. A lot of these positions are going to be remote. They're going to believe that you also can't handle this on a day-to-day basis. Simple things to do: just go into a different room, lock yourself away for that hour, half an hour, whatever it is, and make sure that you don't have distractions like cell phones. Turn your cell phones off.
Yeah.
If your doorbell rings, don't be tempted to go get it. Make sure that any kids are away. We all saw that great video with the guy getting interviewed on TV. Where his kid comes in and then his wife crawls along the floor to try and grab the kid out. That just made it worse, by the way. At that point, he should have just sat the kid on his lap and carried on. This was TV. Right. This wasn't a job interview.
Right. But so for a job interview, you should if you don't have a dedicated room, hopefully you have a room that you can close the door to.
Yep.
But if you can't do that for whatever reason, then you got to move the distractions.
Exactly.
To the other room.
Yeah. Send the kids to grandma.
Outside.
Exactly. Put the dogs out, whatever it is.
Take them to go get McDonald's while you interview. Whatever you got to do to make sure you have that environment clean.
Yep.
And then having side discussions. I know people think it's crazy. Y'all would never do that, but it happens all the time, man.
We've seen it.
Yeah. So people talking to you, and the wife asks them, "Did you get the milk?" "Yes, honey, I got the milk."
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
We've seen interviews for Codafoundry where people have had discussions with spouses during the interview.
Yeah, it doesn't go good. I mean, so and then make sure your phone's turned off. Make sure you don't have any screen distraction. If you're on your computer, you don't have,
don't be watching Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
Could look bad.
So why do you want to work here, Bobby? Hold on a second.
Hold on.
I gotta find out what happens on Broadchurch.
Exactly. Yeah. Hold on. I'm at the last thing of the Mandalorian. Hold on 1 second. It's not gonna go.
He did it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not gonna go.
That's kind of what you do is remove the distractions in the background. Animals, same thing. It's not. People will say that it's okay that if a cat crawls across your back or whatever, and they'll think it's funny, but I promise you, it doesn't help you.
Yes.
It doesn't help you. And people want to say that they want to make you feel better. Oh, it's just life, and life happens. No, control your environment when you're in an interview situation.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be working from home, which means you got to control your environment when you're working from home anyway. And so should just keep controlling your information. Control it. So send everyone outside.
Yep. Definitely. I think you answered this in the chat, but Troy was asking about USB mic instead of built-in mic. Yeah, if you have it, and the snowball mics too, by the way. Which this is one. This is an older one that I have.
Yeah, the blue snowball.
These things are $50 now. You can't go wrong for that price. Such a good mic for that price.
It works good.
It works great. I am thinking about changing it for a slightly different one, but for $50, and this one, I think I spent $100 on this probably 5 years ago.
You're on the snowball right now?
Yeah, this is snowball right now.
See, it sounds good. So so if you want to test, if you like the way Kevin sounds, that's probably the best mic for the money.
At the price point, definitely. They have a Yeti, which is one up from this too.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of mic, and it's a more complicated setup.
Yeah.
You got to get closer to it.
Yep.
It technically sounds better, but if you just need something that has its own little stand and you just want to drop it on your desk, Snowball's the way to go, man.
Yep, it is. Yep. We bought a bunch for the office when we were doing any audio stuff.
All the instructors use Snowballs for or Zoom calls.
Yep. So. Yep. It's just a good setup. Yep. Or you could go full pro, yes, with an audio interface and a road broadcast. You could do that.
You could.
Overkill for interview, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So like if you want to go pro, I'll just pull this on the stage here. This is the thing that you want if you want to go pro. This is the Focusrite USB interface.
Which is what Adam has those too. I just saw Adam bought a new one. I saw him tweeting about
this is the best USB interface on the market, in my opinion. It comes in a 2 and a 4. Not that I'm selling Focusrite.
But then again, at a price point
that's like, link down there.
At a price point that's affordable, right? Like $150, I think.
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
You can't go wrong at that price. It's just you really can't.
I'm not using that now because I've switched over to I'm using a webcam interface to get my Pocket working. So I'm using something called an ATM Mini. And when you ran the Focusrite USB, we had this weird delay issue. So we had to go back to analog. So now I'm using a mini board hooked through analog into my webcam interface. It's a little more complicated setup.
And here's the thing. I would, again, your setup right now, I wouldn't use it for an interview.
No, it's
too complex.
You got to check it every time.
Every time before we jump on, we have to check it. Yeah. I was like, it's always like usually like I can't hear you or you can't hear me, or it's either you have a problem with it or I have a problem on my end. Again, I would turn on if I'm interviewing today, I would turn on my laptop and set up my laptop to do the interview. I might use the mic. I would probably use the mic actually.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use the internal mic, but that's the only thing I would change.
Yeah, the USB mic is great. And then I wouldn't use a Procaster for an interview like what I'm doing here.
With it right in front of you.
B, you have to be right on top of it. If I go off like that, it's not sound nearly as good.
Yep.
So, and also gets in the shot and that kind of stuff. And,
again, unless you're interviewing for a podcaster job or something, then you better show that you're going to sound pro,
Yeah. So when Spotify comes calling, I'll interview from here.
Throw that Joe Rogan money at you.
When they say, we're getting rid of Joe Rogan. We want you. We want the Cutter Pounder channel. So,
that's next week.
My Procaster.
That's next
week. So,
that's
so we'll put the Focusrite down there if you want. You want a pro thing? We'll put it.
Yeah,
down
let
there.
me.
We'll put that down there too.
It's
great.
I think it's a awesome. T2, a 2i. That one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a T2i.
Yeah,
which I think we're on. Like we're on third gen for those now too.
Yeah, third gen 2.12.
Yeah. Those have come a long way.
So I've got 2 of those. I like them. We use them in different studio rooms. We have 3 YouTube studios here, and so they all have Focusrites in them in case someone comes in. I have people that record from here and they bring their stuff in, so I give them an audio interface to hook up to.
Yep.
So that makes it real simple.
Yep. I can't find the exact one on YouTube for some reason. They don't have
We'll stick it out there.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the.
On Amazon. I don't find it. Why do people like Joe Rogan?
I don't
know. People do though. He's worth
$100 million.
So, exactly. Yeah.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. I mean, I don't know, man.
Shifani's asking, would a headset mic be all right? So it depends on the headset. So if you're wearing like the gaming headset, like if you have one, so I have the Steel Series ones, and they do have a mic in them.
No.
The problem is, they do have a mic on them, but the problem is you got to wear like big cans. Like when it's just, look weird.
It's not pro, man.
It just doesn't look
so. Pro is putting a just talk right into the MacBook or your Surface laptop or whatever you're buying. So it's not pro to have the cans on, in my opinion. So I think it's good.
Let's do a couple more. Oh, there you go. Adam put the there's a Sweetwater link. Thanks, Adam.
There we go.
That is the one, because Adam just bought it, so I know he knows exactly which one. It's a good deal.
It does I saw some of you guys thing. It does allow you to put musicians in it, and it's the sweetest musician interface.
You can put so it takes XLR and guitar audio jacks too in it. $159, man. It's a good deal. It is a great
deal. What it's really for, if you want to get an XLR mic in through a USB interface, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
So if you're stepping your mic game up, get a Scarlett, and then you're buying some other kind of mic.
Yep.
If you don't care about your mic game, you just want pretty good, then USB Snowball's the way to roll.
Yeah, and then go with a USB one. Yep.
No.
Yeah, but if you need to go Pro and take a step up, they're all going to be XLR connections. So you need an audio interface to pull it into USB. So that's where you got to go with something like the Focusrite.
Cool.
Yeah, I like SteelSeries too, Joseph. Just a side note, if they want to sponsor us, that'd be awesome. I have the headset, the mouse, I have the keyboard. I bought that. You can see, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but I bought the Apex Pro keyboard. And I think it's
nice.
It's super nice. I love it. I bought the mouse too. That I like the mouse. They make good quality stuff. So far, I'm loving it.
Yeah, if they want to support my Destiny dream of going world's first raid, then SteelSeries bring me a headset.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Give me 5 good players that can carry me.
I do have a problem with the headset, though. To be honest, I'll tell you about this. I'll give you an honest review of this thing. It's their most expensive headset. Yeah. It's a 9X. It's meant originally for an Xbox, but it also plays PC through the wireless dongle. So my problem with it is it drops audio all the time. It's Bluetooth. Bluetooth is just an issue when you have a lot of wireless activity in your house, which obviously I do have a lot of stuff. So Bluetooth in general is just like, it's kind of crappy, and it does lose and has audio interface issues constantly. I would go wide if I was buying another one. Yeah,
and Blue Yeti's by the same people that make the Snowball Cave, and it's great.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. Like it works great.
It's actually a step up from the Snowball one. It's technically I think it's $100 or $120 something like that. Whereas a Snowball you get for like $50 to $70. So it's the next one up. But I think they sound kind of similar.
Yeah.
Here you go. One quick question from Quicks. The funniest / weirdest job interview you've personally seen / participated in?
I'd have to throw some people under the bus. I don't want to do it.
Okay. You can't tell us anonymously. You tell us about flip-flop, dude. You told us that one before.
So the original name of Breaking the Code.
Yeah.
The working title was "Don't Wear Flip-Flops to the Interview," and the publisher talked me out of it. But the one of the things that I was doing was I had a guy that came in for an interview, and the recruiter called me and they said, "Hey, he's business casuals, or if he doesn't dress up for the interview." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. He's coming from work. I get it." He shows up in shorts and flip-flops. Yeah, and it was just kind of really bad. And so, like, it was just kind of like, so, like, to me, that was the weirdest thing. I'm like, there's casual, and then there's like going to the beach.
Just, you are coming for an interview,
so like,
you could at least put some shoes in your car.
Like, I mean, you could still be business casual and not give away that you're looking by like wearing a pair of brown shoes, and you don't have to
or again, put them in your car. You don't have to wear them all day. At least you have to drive there to the interview. Like, at least be like, come on.
Right. That's just flip-flops. Don't wear flip-flops to the interview.
I'm trying to think, like, if there's like a terrible. I've never been through one myself where I've had like. So I've never hired anybody as such. I've only ever been on the other side of it. I've done quite a few interviews, but I've never really had a bad experience with one as an employee, as a potential employee.
Yeah, I had an interview that went into madness that I was interviewing for pre-Cortex.
Oh, okay.
And he challenged me to a one-on-one in the back with the basketball court.
Wow.
And I was like, I mean, I get this job, but if you ain't enough money in your wallet, so I'll play you right now.
You're like, I'll
beat you in my suit. I didn't get the job.
So. You didn't get the job? Did you play basketball?
No, he was like, I insulted him too much. He didn't want to.
Wow.
So.
Yeah.
So
there's some sort of story in there somewhere. If offered
there
to
is.
play basketball and interview.
What happened was I was interviewing and he asked me what the longest store procedure ever written was, and I said I never did a line count. And then he says, "Have you ever written one?" I'm like, "Yes." And he goes, "Well, here we have our store procedures are 30 to 40,000 lines minimum." And I just remarked, like, "Sounds like you're doing something wrong."
Yeah. Well, why are they that long?
And it went downhill from there.
Wait, no,
to the point where he's challenged me to play basketball in the back of the court.
That's hilarious because you're going to give yourself away at that point, and even if you don't say it, your facial expression is going to be like, "That long, really?"
You're doing it wrong. And so, like, they were doing something with XSLT, and they were like manipulating XLT and store procedures. And I just thought it was the bad way to do it.
Right.
So I didn't get that job.
Oh well.
It's kind of funny. So there you go. There's my true story quicks.
Okay, there you go. I like it. Okay, so let's wrap this up here. We're a little bit over, but that's okay.
We are. We digress.
Exactly. Let's go off on these strange tangents. What do I have to talk about here? Oh, we have Xamarin Mobile course coming up.
It's coming up next week. We got a lot of people coming in. It should be fun. So if you want to learn mobile dev on the Xamarin platform,
yep, go to codify.com/mobile. It is fully virtual. So
fully virtual, so you can take it wherever you want to go. So it should be fun. You'll learn a lot, and I think it's good deal.
Yep. And Adam's going to be there, so you can take the course with Adam. So that'd be cool.
Adam's going to be at their course.
Yeah, so that's going to be awesome.
See you next week, Adam. I'll see you next week.
There you go. He said he'll be in that course.
Yeah. You'll learn a lot.
Else? Oh yeah, so Wednesday we're probably going to launch that the channel, so you can join the channel. I'll probably push that out right before we go live. I think on Wednesday, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. We need to record a little intro video for it, so we'll see. It might be tomorrow. Probably
get in the studio.
Yeah, we're working on the next video. We're probably not going to have it ready for tomorrow. We're going to finish it up later. So we may release it tomorrow, probably Wednesday. If not, we might save it for Friday. But we're talking about another thing on your portfolio using mini sites. So we're going to go into more details about mini sites. So keep looking out for that video.
Yeah, and specifically JavaScript coding projects. You'll get 5 projects ideas for JS projects on your portfolio.
Yep. So we're going to extend
you how you should display them.
Yep. Yep. So we're going to extend out that our portfolio sort of series, if you will, to include some more stuff about like extending out your portfolio. So
I'll
go into more detail about some of the parts.
All right, cool.
So looking forward to it.
Yes, it should be fun.
Okay. That's all I got for today.
All right. Well, good luck, guys. And we're going to go eat lunch now, but good luck and keep coding. We'll see you tomorrow.
Well, Wednesday.
We'll
see you Wednesday.
Right.
We'll see you on Wednesday. But we'll see you guys Wednesday. Okay, bye.